So, good job. Exactly.
That's very cool. I have a question for the producers. In the earlier the J.J. Abrams Joss Whedon nerd mind exploding panel yesterday, J.J. said that these days a network show has to find some balance between serialized storytelling and episodic TV storytelling that requires less commitment, and he specifically mentioned Fringe. And it seemed to me that you guys have gone...
Success or a failure?
That wasn't a success. Body language is everything. You guys seem to have really gone all in on serialized mythology-based storytelling by the end of the season.
Right.
So I wondered how you're going to address this in the new season. What's the balance going to be between mythology and standalone episodes?
We learned early on that people sort of like the fans really love the mythology, but you know there's needs. There are needs from the network and to sort of make sure that people can come and say, oh, I really want to check out that show Fringe, and not really feel like you know, I'm too far gone. Like I can't really join it. I can't really jump in. So we started experimenting with a thing called, because they're called standalone episodes or mythology episodes, and we sort of did some experiments to figure out what degrees of which, and we came up with a term that we call mythalons, which seems to really work. The best example from last season was something like White Tulip. Thanks so much. But you can see that you're following Walter's, his journey, and we realized, hey, this is the right mix because you get the mythological elements that people really get paid, they really want to see. So we're not really abandoning our core fan group, but we're having a standalone case that we find is compelling that thematically will link with that story. And yeah, and Peter Weller, we did very well.
That was a great performance by Peter Weller.
But it was, but narratively,
it was RoboCop, I found.
Yeah, even Coffee.
Yeah.
But narratively, we realized that this is the right balance for us. So we're going to have hard mythology episodes, but we're going to have mythalones as well, and hopefully keep you really entertained in that manner, because we feel that just you guys, the fans, were not really responding to the standalone concept. So JJ's absolutely right. You need to find a way that people can sort of jump in any episode and say, I want to check this show out, and I'm not going to be lost, and I want to find out why this show, people find it compelling.
Leonard Nimoy has been so great in the show. And I wondered if his announcement that he was retiring, did it leave you kind of hamstrung with a problem? Had you wanted to use Bell a lot more going on?
I think we had a story for William Bell that we got to tell. Leonard has now retired twice. He's our Brett Favre. We started the season, we embarked on this story, he retired, we had him in, we talked him through where we wanted the story to end in season 2, and he said, okay, I'll come back, which was lovely.
It was a good day.
It was a great day. We're incredibly grateful, and I think he was so unbelievably gracious and is such a compelling actor, and from the moment that role was created, it wasn't created with him in mind, but it was sort of just the perfect mix of actor. And I think he was initially nervous that we just wanted him for promotional value. But we really wanted to give him sort of a swan song role, which he was really grateful for. So he is now retired again. And should he come out of retirement, should we be able to convince him to come out of retirement again, we have another story to tell. We'll see whether we get to it.
I have theories about how he could come back. Okay. What is the deal with the color red? The red permeates so much of the alternate universe. I did a Fringe comic book with DC. I'm wondering if there's any chance for a limited edition of Red Arrow, Red Lantern.
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
So we when we were talking about the alternate universe, we were saying that in a world where Fringe events happen much more frequently, the Fringe team would be public, and much like firemen. Firemen are heroes in everybody's police who are clearly heroes on their own, there's an element of police state, I think. Whereas firemen, everybody, you know, is grateful to see the firemen, so we sort of riffed on Fireman Red and thought that the Fringe team over there were right.
Joshua, are you jealous that the others get to play dual roles and you have to remain Peter?
No, actually, because it gives me the opportunity to be just an audience member of the other side. It allows me to step back from a show that I'm in and just watch it with your guys' eyes, where I can just sit back and enjoy the Fringe.
Judge it.
Yeah, exactly. And judge it partially. You know what this is missing, Peter? So, but seriously, I mean, it's, you know, I don't know, it's, if you talk about the backing and forth thing, that's bad. Okay. So without talking about the bad stuff, there are opportunities for me this year to go back to simply being a sci-fi fan with this show, to appreciate it without having to judge my own work in it. Yeah, every actor is, well, this actor is pathological. When you watch, you only see the bad stuff, and you nitpick, and you do it. But when you're not in it, you can actually appreciate your cast of characters. So, no, it's great for me to be able to step back.
It seems like Peter almost went back to the way he was at the beginning of the series. In feeling that betrayal, he became that sort of doesn't give a damn, you know, hitting the road.
Before the end of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's certainly true. I think when he first found out that he'd been, you know, that he allowed himself to open up and be loved and love the people around him, only to find himself betrayed on the most fundamental level. I think, like a lot of us do, when put in an impossible situation, he reverted back to form before all this, you know, and his form was burn all the bridges on the way out of town and you're gone. But I think at the end of the season, you know, when he makes that choice to come back, and the last thing that he has is with his father, who, you know, sometimes blood isn't thicker than water. He comes back to this man and makes the hardest choice he's had to make in his life, and says to him, you know, I can't quite say the words yet, but you saved my life twice, and that has to count for something. And sometimes when you're forced to make a decision in a snap, you make the most honest decision because there's no rational thought involved in it. It's just a pure emotional response, and his emotional response was to come home. So I think that's pretty well.
I'm being told we have time for some questions from the audience.
Hi there. I have to say you guys are all fantastic. And my question for you guys is, being so fantastic, how do you guys manage to keep it all going when you're shooting out a sequence? I mean, the intensity, and just everything. How do you do it? What are your techniques?
I think that the most important technique is to start every sentence with, being so fantastic. I think I'm going to.
So wait, we have a question for you now. You get to ask us questions, we have to ask you questions.
If you get it
Look,
right.
she's already...
She's taking her way down.
If you get it right.
So Anna, do you have a question for our guest?
Not Anna.
All right, John, do you have a question for our guest? And you win a lovely Fringe t-shirt should you get it right.
Yeah, very, very limited. So you got to make it count. No pressure. Yeah. Don't worry, you're getting it anyway because I like you.
What color shoelaces?
So now? No, you can do it.
What was the picture on the cover of the alternate universe ZFT book?
Ooh, that's a really good one. Does anybody know? No, I said.
No, I missed you. On the back.
Sorry.
On the back.
John Noble, I believe you have something you'd like to say. I mean, that's the answer.
That's the answer.
On the back of the book.
You won.